Monday, November 16th, and I'm going to walk you through all of your activities and assignments for the day. So the first thing you're doing, of course, is your warm-up, but instead of Membeing, you are going to be doing More Grammar Monday. So you are going to click on your warm-up, and it says that you need to go to Flocabulary. So if you go to class link, then you can get to Flocabulary from there. And there's going to be a video assigned to you called Complex Sentences. And this is going to go over independent and dependent clauses. Remember, you have a quiz on No Writing on Friday over incomplete and complete thoughts and independent and dependent clauses. So you need to watch this video. When you get to Flocabulary, it will look like this. It's called Complex Sentences. It's 3 minutes and 15 seconds. You are expected to watch the entire video. So you can go ahead and pause this recording and watch the video. Come back to this recording when you're done. So once you are done watching the video, then you will come back to this page and there's a practice that you will open up in Notability. So you'll click on this independent and dependent clauses practice. You'll open it up in Notability, and it has some quick definitions again for you if you need to review them from the video. So remember, a clause is part of a sentence. A dependent clause provides additional information, but it cannot stand alone as a sentence. It will start with a subordinating conjunction. And if we got rid of the rest of the sentence and just left the dependent clause, it would not be a complete sentence. An independent clause is a complete sentence. It can stand alone. We could get rid of everything in a sentence except for the independent clause, and it would still be a complete sentence. It would still have a subject and a predicate. So for example, in this sentence, it says, my teacher has a jacket that she found at the zoo. In this sentence, my independent clause is my teacher has a jacket. My subject is teacher. My predicate is has. She has a jacket. So this is a complete sentence all by itself. If I got rid of the rest of the sentence, my teacher has a jacket still makes sense. It is an independent clause. My dependent clause is that she found at the zoo. It's starting with this subordinating conjunction. If I took away the rest of the sentence, then that she found at the zoo would not be a complete sentence. It is dependent on the independent clause. So you are going to complete these 6 practice questions. So the first 3, it says identify all the words that make up the dependent clause. So you are going to either highlight or underline all the words in the sentence that make the dependent clause. Once you're done with that, you'll move on and you will identify all the words of these last 3 sentences that make up the independent clause. So once again, pause this recording, complete the practice, and then come back to this recording once you're done. All right, so once you are done with your warm-up, then you can go ahead and move on. So you're going to go to number 2, study 1116 prequel sequel project information. And you're going to open up this checklist in Notability. All right, so this is giving you information for the writing project that we are beginning today. For this project, you are going to either be writing a prequel or a sequel to The Giver. A prequel is a story that happens before the book, and a sequel is a story that happens after the book is over. So you will choose if you're writing a prequel or a sequel. If you think back to your cause and effect map that you made on Friday, you circled your favorite scenario out of the causes and effects. So go ahead and pause this video and pull up your cause and effect map from Friday. So once you have pulled up your cause and effect map, look at it and see, what did you circle? If you circled one of the 3 boxes on the left side for the causes, if you circled one of those, then you are going to be writing a prequel. And you are going to be writing a story centered around that cause that you circled. That is the foundation for the story that you are about to write. If you circled a square on the right side of your cause and effect map, so you circled one of the effects, then you are going to be writing a sequel. So whichever square you circled on the right side, that is what your entire sequel story is going to be centered around. Okay, so you should already have an idea by looking at your cause and effect map which type of story you are going to be writing. You're either going to be writing a prequel, which is a story about what happened before the book, before The Giver. And then if you circled something on the right side, then you are going to be writing a sequel, which is a story that happens after The Giver ended. So it says that below you will find the minimum expectations for your story. So yes, you are writing a complete story. You will submit your progress for each part of the story on the dates outlined in the checklist below. The entire completed first draft is going to be due this Friday, November 20th at 11:59 p.m. So your story that you are writing, either your prequel or your sequel, remember you are making this story up. You are going to create an exposition, a conflict and inciting incident, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. That means your story needs to have all of the components of a plot diagram. I will be checking your exposition and conflict/inciting incident on Tuesday. I will be checking your rising action and climax on Wednesday. And I will be checking your falling action and resolution on Friday when the whole completed draft is due. So again, your overall project is creating your own story of what you think happened before the Giver book started, or you are writing your own made-up story about what you think happened after the Giver book ended. And you are basing your story off of the square you circled on your cause and effect map. That is the project you are doing this week, is writing a story. Okay, so we are going to go back to Schoology now that you know kind of where we're headed this week. And we're going to go to task number 3, create. Okay, so this is called setting and protagonist circle maps. So it is telling you to open the attached circle maps in Notability. So these circle maps right here, you're going to open up in Notability. You will be using circle maps to brainstorm the details of your setting and protagonist. So you're thinking about the story that you are going to make up. You need to decide, where is your story going to be set? Is it set in the community? Is it set in a different community? Is it set elsewhere? Is it set somewhere entirely different? Where is the setting of your made-up story? And who is going to be the protagonist of your story? Remember, the protagonist is the main character. So you will complete one circle map for the setting of your prequel or sequel story, and one circle map for the protagonist of your story. Remember to use descriptive sensory language. Okay. For the circle maps, let's look at those really quick. So this is what a circle map looks like. We have a smaller circle inside of a larger circle. And so how this works is, on the inside of the circle, if you are doing your protagonist circle map, then you would put the name of your protagonist in the middle, and you would describe them in as much detail as you can in the outside circle. Remember, you are going to be making a lot of this up because this is your own story you are creating. So for example, if I am writing a prequel, and I want my prequel to focus on Rosemary's life before the Giver book, then in my circle map, I would write Rosemary in the inner circle, because she's the name of my protagonist, my main character. And then in the larger circle, I am going to fill it with as many details that I know about her. Okay, so some of these I knew from the book, but some of these I just made up because it's my own story that I get to make up. So you are going to do the same thing. You are going to put the name of your protagonist in the smaller circle. You're going to describe your protagonist in the outside circle. You're going to do the same thing for your setting. Wherever your setting is, you are going to name the setting right here. So you will either write the community, elsewhere, or wherever it is that your story is set. It can be anywhere you want. You write it in the smaller circle. And then in the larger circle, you are going to describe the setting in as much detail as possible. Okay, so you're responsible today for doing both your setting circle map and your protagonist circle map. You are submitting both circle maps as a PDF. Do not submit screenshots, submit it as a PDF. Okay, and you can see the rubric right here, and you can review the rubric as much as you need to. So you are completing your circle map. Feel free to pause this video, go work on your circle map, submit them, and then come back to this video. All right, so at this point, you should have submitted your setting and protagonist circle maps. So now we are going to move on to number 4, share. So you're going to click on number 4, share. And it says, open the attached plot map in Notability. So this plot map right here, we are opening it up in Notability. You will map out your prequel sequel story on the attached plot map. And then you will post a picture of your completed plot map to the discussion board. So here is our plot map. And you are thinking about, what do you want to happen in your story? Because remember, your story needs the exposition, conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. And you are going to use this plot map to plan your story. You are not mapping out the giver. We already did that. This is to plan your made-up prequel or sequel story. So you should already know your setting because you just made a circle map about it. You should already know your character because you just made a circle map about that. And you need to fill in the rest of the information. Your story should go through all these steps, all these parts of the plot diagram. You should have a theme. It should have a title. You are the author. But this is to plan out your prequel sequel that you are going to write. So once again, you are welcome to pause this recording and complete your plot map. Okay, so once you are done with your plot map, you are going to post it to the discussion board. So you can just hit add a comment, and then you can insert your image of your plot map so that we are all able to see it. All right, so that is what you're doing. You should have today done the grammar video in practice. You should understand the prequel sequel project. You should have completed and submitting the setting and protagonist circle maps. And you should have completed and posted your prequel sequel project story plot map. Anything you did not get done today is homework. We are going to be moving on tomorrow. There will not be time in class tomorrow for you to get caught up. So it is your responsibility to get all of these things done and turned in so that we are ready to move on tomorrow. Email me if you have questions. And I will see y'all later. Have a good day.